What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got grading the 2023 NFL Draft 2 years later, picks 17 through 31. Let's check this out.
The 2023 NFL Draft class is 2 years.
It's kind of weird seeing 31 picks, but the Dolphins got their shit revoked,
The
so.
back half of the first round, which is picks 17 through 31. For anyone who may not remember, the reason there were 31 picks in the first round
Because
of
of
the
the Dolphins tampering and
is
shit.
because the Dolphins forfeited their first round selection as a punishment for violations of the league's anti-tampering policy while trying to recruit both Tom Brady and Sean Payton.
Imagine they would have pulled that off, though.
Of the season, as we recently graded the 2024 first round, which will be linked at the end. We will be going in reverse order, and we will start with the Chiefs selection of pass rusher Felix Anudike.
Oh yeah, this is probably the biggest draft bust of this year. It's definitely between him or Emmanuel Forbes. Like, I'm being so for real. Nigga, did he even play like at least 50 snaps last year? Like, real talk.
Finish with the selection of Patriots corner Christian Gonzalez. For any Steelers fans wondering, we will include a text grade on screen of cornerback Joey Porter Jr. at the end, who was the 32nd overall pick and was technically a second round selection. But we don't know why we're here, so let's dive right in. Felix Anudike-Uzomah was the final first-round pick of the night, and through 2 years, Felix has 3 career sacks and 3 career starts. There was a lot of upside with Anudike-Uzomah when he was selected, and the hope was the Chiefs could develop him over the course of his rookie contract. I'm not saying that's impossible and that still can't happen, but it's not looking good a couple of years in. Felix not getting on the field consistently is pretty telling, and if there is any positive spin to this pick a couple of years in, it's that he just turned 23 years old in January. He was a
So he's still very young, too.
We discuss trench prospects that are young, like Felix was in his rookie season. We always talk about the adjustment period for guys who are 21 years old, going up against guys that are older and have that true grown man strength, like a Penei Sewell or Lane Johnson, for example. But FAU not getting on the field.
Yeah, he got 14 pressures, 7 QB hits, 6 TFLs. I mean, he's got promise though. He's got promise. Like, I don't know whether they just got to get him on the field or like I really don't know what's going on. If he's like, excuse me, not really showing, you know what I'm saying, Kansas City enough of what he can do, or like what the fuck going on.
Jones and George Karlaftis along the defensive line to be more of a focal point for the opposing offense to pay attention to. 2 years later, this is an F.
Yeah.
Nolan Smith was
I ain't gonna lie. He had a pretty down rookie year. But he stepped it up this year. I'm not gonna lie, especially in the Super Bowl.
With the other, of course, being Jalen.
He definitely stepped it up this year.
Play much as a rookie. He played really sparingly and only recorded 95 pass rushing snaps in 2023. But like he always does, General Manager Howie Roseman had a plan with Nolan Smith, and we saw that.
He led them Georgia Bulldogs, man.
Nolan finished the 2024 season with 31 pressures, and believe it or not, actually had 19 pressures in the 4 postseason games during the Eagles Super Bowl run.
Oh, shit.
He had 4 sacks in 4 games during their postseason run, and I think that has to factor into the grade, because if you look at Nolan's raw numbers through 2 years, you can say that he only has 7.5 career sacks, and that he has not been much of a contributor, which would not be the case.
I mean, stats can be misleading, though, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like pressures matter more. If I'm being for real, because, like, you're still impacting the play. You know what I'm saying? You can force the quarterback to make a boneheaded mistake like an interception or fumble or something like that. So I feel like sometimes, like, sacks can be misleading.
Prioritize the trenches, and they know how
you know what I'm saying?
Develop talent. Smith is just 24 years old, and I like where his game is headed, due in large part to the progression we saw from him throughout the second half of his second season. With the Eagles developing trench talent the way they do, and with having Jalen Carter able to help everyone eat because of how much attention he commands, I really think the sky is the limit for Nolan. I expect this to go up, but for now, a B+.
B+. That's fair. That's fair.
Bryan Bresee was the Saints' first-round pick, and Bresee.
What has he been doing? I have not heard him since he got drafted too. Like, what has he been doing?
Solid pass rushing defensive tackle through 2 years. He
was a dog at Clemson.
Season and also had 14 quarterback hits. From a career projection standpoint, he reminds me a lot of the Bucs' Kalijah Kancey, who we will discuss later in the video. The unfortunate part for Bresee is he doesn't have a Vita Vea next to him to help defend the run the way Kalijah Kancey does. And because of this, there's
I mean, their D-line is like dog shit. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I feel like they need to go out and draft maybe Mike Green or Mason Graham. You know what I'm saying? They need somebody next to him to really unlock his full potential for real.
But there's a reason the Saints couldn't stop the run in 2024. Unfortunately, Brian played a part within that. He is really good in pass rushing situations, and for the sake of his career, I really hope they get a good run-stopping defensive tackle, so Brzee can maximize his talents, and the Saints can be an overall...
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay. 38 pressures, 25 total tackles, 14 QB, 7.5 sacks. That's not bad. Okay. I mean, I didn't really watch Saints games like that at all, so...
At this point, but the Saints have a very interesting way of going about how they...
He had a pretty solid second year.
Brzee is a really solid player, and 2 years in, this is a B+.
Okay.
Myles Murphy was the Bengals.
Now with this pick, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like Myles Murphy, he has a lot of upside, bro. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of upside. Like, he was on that great defense at Clemson, along with Brian Brzee, you know what I'm saying? Nate Wiggins and them boys. I don't know if he even got on the field for real, like last year. Like, I don't think he even had a sack or anything. Like, I really want Myles Murphy to be good, you know what I'm saying? But it's not looking too good so far. I'm going to keep it a buck.
In his career, he has a grand total of 3 sacks in 30 games with 0 career starts.
Damn.
The immediate reaction is to automatically think this is an F grade and to move on and discuss the next player. And while I don't entirely disagree, I think there needs to be some context around this pick, or more specifically, how this franchise has used Murphy since he was drafted.
Okay.
Murphy had 20 pressures on 215 pass rushing snaps in 2024, and actually had the second highest pass rush win rate on the team, only behind Trey Hendrickson, of course.
See, now that's what I'm saying. Stats can be misleading, bro. He had 20 pressures. But I ain't gonna lie, you gotta finish some of those sacks, bro. Pause. You know what I'm saying? But hey, stats can be misleading.
18 pressures on 253 pass rushing snaps, and was a pretty disappointing player, especially given he signed a $40 million contract a couple of off seasons ago. Bengals fans are frustrated with owner Mike Brown and believe Hubbard is playing over Murphy because of money, and they have a rightful reason to feel that way.
Ooh.
I don't think Murphy is a hit by any definition, but I don't think the organization has done a good job of using him.
I feel like if he does, you know what I'm saying, get some starts, bro, he's definitely gonna be a stud, bro. Like, real shit.
23 years old in week 1 of
he
the
definitely gonna be a baller
season, so there is still hope he gets opportunities and can turn it around. He hasn't been great, and I do want that to be clear, and I think this is a combination of failure on the organization side and the player also not performing at a high level either. An F grade. Anton Harrison is up.
Anton Harrison. What have he been up to?
Anton early in the 2024 season. The Jags did not have a good 2024 season as they started out 0-4, and Harrison was a part of the problem. He allowed 2 sacks in week 1 against the Dolphins and allowed another 3 pressures against the Browns in week 2, including a quarterback hit, and I was worried about where his career was headed as an NFL player. But I want to credit Anton for finishing the year the way he did, as he had a really good end to his second season. He allowed 15 pressures in the first 6 games of the year, including 2 games with 4 pressures, but allowed just 16 pressures in the final 10 games. And if you're wondering why that's 16 games and not 17, it's because he missed a game down the stretch. I was really worried the Jags drafted a bust at right tackle and that former GM Trent Baalke missed on another draft pick, but I think there was a lot of positives from Harrison as the 2024 season ended, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the Jags offense in 2025. Obviously, with Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr., Harrison will never receive national love or recognition unless he has a truly dominant all-pro caliber season, but he gives Will Anderson fits regularly, and he is just 23 years old. I think they have a good right tackle, and this is an A-. Mozzie Smith is up, and there needs to be
this a F. This a fucking F. Why was he drafted in the first round? I'm being so dead ass, bro. Like, gang, do Dallas not want to win another Super Bowl anytime soon? Why was he shouldn't have been nowhere near the first round. I'm sorry, bro. He should have been nowhere near the first round.
He has not performed well through the first few years of his career, and in fact was in a video we released late in the 2024 season about players who have disappointed from the 2023 draft. But one of my biggest problems with this pick wasn't even Mozzie himself, it was how the Cowboys handled him once he was drafted. There was an article that had quotes from former Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy that said something along the lines of, we wanted to get him to a comfortable weight, and that's a part of the transition period, and that always rubbed me the wrong way, because a 335-pound defensive tackle is substantially different from a 310-pound defensive tackle, and I hated the plan the organization had for Mazi to begin with.
What?
There's always a lot of discussions about teams setting quarterbacks up to fail, and I think the Cowboys set Mazi Smith up to fail. He improved a bit in his second season compared to his first, but 2 years later, I would give the organization a complete F for how they handled this. And for Mazi's production, this gets a D grade.
Wow.
Dalton Kincaid.
Hey, Dalton, he been pretty good, though. I ain't gonna lie. Even though he kind of cost the Bills in the AFC Championship game when dropping that pass. But he's been good outside of that. He did kind of have a down year this year, I ain't gonna lie. I think he was dealing with injuries and shit.
It was pretty frustrating for Kincaid because he missed some time and was not the same player in his second season as he was in his rookie season. And fair or not, anytime a tight end is drafted in the first round, they are held to a higher standard because they are a pass rusher.
Brock Bowers going to be held to a higher standard come next year.
Kincaid never really produced in year 2, and the most amount of yards he had in a single game was just 53 yards.
Damn.
If this was a receiver, the grade would be very low because he hasn't produced close to the level you'd hope for from a first-round tight end. He also has just 4 career touchdowns, and yes, you can obviously attribute Josh Allen's legs to some of the reason as to why Kincaid does not have as many receiving touchdowns as other players, but I think he was pretty disappointing in 2024, all things considered. He had 4 receptions or less in 11 of the 13 games he played, and averaged just 34.5 receiving yards per game, which was a decline from his rookie season. I think he can get back to the player he was as a rookie in 2025, but after a B+ grade last year, this is a C+. Deonte Banks was the Giants' first-round pick, and this was a tough pick for the Giants.
That nigga was getting bean-topped all season long, bro. Oh my gosh.
Heading into the 2023 season for the Giants wasn't good, and the run for the receivers in this draft...
Yeah, they need to draft a corner, bro.
Getting Daniel Jones, a good receiver, was the plan at the time, as Daniel was coming off of a solid season.
If Trav is there, bro, they need to take him. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Because they don't got no good corners at all.
Giants, and when he was targeted in 2024, he allowed 6 touchdowns to 0 interceptions and had 6 penalties called on him. There's also been a lack of effort at times from Deonte, and it's been a very frustrating pick for the Giants.
Shit, I ain't gonna lie. I'll probably have a lack of effort too if I played for the New York Giants. I'm being so for real.
There were flashes from
but
Deonte,
for real though, like he just sucks, man.
Actually getting benched in his second season is a good summarization of this pick.
Like look at this is what I was talking about too, and when I was reacting, I think Hurts highlights and shit. Bro, look how he didn't even put no effort into trying to angle this to get Hurts out of bounds.
The Giants missing out
like, look at this shit.
And drafting a player they had to bench, and a player who was openly showing a lack of effort.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you can see the coach.
And a player who was openly
you can see the coach yelling at him too, bro.
Describes their last couple of seasons.
Nigga, put your tongue back in your mouth, nigga. See, this is the main reason why he's so trash right now, nigga, doing this weird ass shit.
F grade. Jordan
Addison is A+ for sure. A+ for sure. I would Addison a dog.
Year as he had over 900 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he followed it up with an 875-yard, 10 total touchdown season in year 2. And with guys like himself, Zay Flowers, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and even Puka Nacua in this class, you may be surprised to know that Jordan Addison actually leads this class in receiving touchdowns through 2 years. I am a firm believer that Addison, like another player we will discuss very shortly, is a good player that is not being maximized statistically speaking, and having Justin Jefferson as a teammate is naturally going to do that for not just Jordan Addison, but for anybody. He is only 23 years old, and with the potential we've seen from him in the first 2 years, he should be a very good player in this league for a long time.
Facts.
I really think it's a matter of time.
DMV demon, bro.
Season, and unfortunately, he missed a few games in 2024, so if he played all 17 games, maybe he would have gotten it this past year. Unfortunately, he didn't, but still had a pretty good season. Minnesota wanted a complimentary receiver to Justin Jefferson, and that's exactly what they got. Addison is a very good player, and this is an A. Zay Flowers was the Ravens' first round pick. Zay Flowers is
Sarsky
class in receiving yards, only behind Puka Nacua.
Like, bro, we really missed that nigga in the playoffs, man.
Yard season of his career in
Come next season, bro. Him and Bate. I'm gonna say this right now. They gonna finish the season. Both of them gonna finish the season with both 1,000 yards. I'm telling you right now. Top 3 receiver duo this year. I'm telling you right now, gang.
He is a very good player for the Ravens, and for a franchise that has done so many things right over the course of their franchise history, drafting and developing receivers surprisingly is not one of them, at least not as much as you'd think. But Zay Flowers looks like he is going to be the guy to change that for the Ravens. He is currently
Bait had a breakout year too.
Receiving yards, and if
so
he has 1,000 yards in 2025,
we fit to be ready next year.
Possible,
promise you. We can bring in somebody like Debo as well to help out. You know what I'm saying? Be a third option.
Receiving yards already. I like Zay a lot, and I think he is a player who will be a perennial 1,000-yard guy if he stays healthy.
Oh my gosh, what a spin move.
I really do think we are just scraping the surface of what Flowers is capable of. There was a point in 2024 where he had 4 games out of 5 with 110 or more yards, and I think he is a very, very good player. I also think it's fair to say he's not on a team that will maximize what he can do from a number standpoint, but the Ravens drafted a really good player in Flowers. 2 years in, this is an A.
Yes, sir.
Quentin Johnston was the second of 4 consecutive...
Oh, man. What's crazy about this pick, they could have drafted Jordan Addison or Zay Flowers, but they chose Quentin Johnston, and that has been the worst pick so far. I know I said that maybe Emmanuel Forbes or Felix and DK Uzama is the biggest draft bust in this class. It might go down and be Quentin Johnston. I'm gonna be so for real, nigga. Oh my god. Like, bro, this man has no hands whatsoever. Like, this nigga is too damn big to be dropping easy slant passes, comeback routes, and all this other bullshit. But you'll see some catch he'll make down the field. Like, you be like, so he can make a catch like that, but he can't make a easy 5-yard hitch route catch. Like, this nigga's right here, bro. I hope he's able to put things together in his 3rd year, but it's not looking too good right now, bro.
Season as he averaged just 25 yards per game and was
25 yards a game for a first-round pick is crazy. Oh yeah, he dropped this right here.
By any means, as he had a much
How?
better second season than he did rookie year.
Yeah, you better be hitting them judgment scenes in the damn offseason, my buddy. I ain't gonna lie, gang. Better start hitting them judgment scenes.
186 of his 1,142 career yards in a Week 18 game against the Raiders, and that was in a game against a very bad secondary, but I don't think Johnson is this all-time draft bust the way at times he's made out to be. Yes, he had
711 yards. That's more than what I thought it was. 8 tuds.
But I think there is a slight difference between how people view him versus the player he actually is, meaning I don't think he is an all-time draft bust the way social media makes him out to be at times. It also doesn't help QJ that some of his drops came at the worst time and in front of everyone to see.
Bro, how do you drop this? This is an easy first down. Shit, this might even turn with his speed. This might have been a touchdown. Like, being so for real.
And in front of everyone to see. He improved in 2024, and that is a positive. But for now, this is a D+. Jackson Smith-Njigba.
JSN, bro, he went crazy this year, bro. I'm surprised he didn't make the Pro Bowl like originally.
Smith-Njigba became the go-to guy in 2024. He had his first both 100 reception season and 1,000-yard season this past year, and I think he is a very talented receiver, and the sky is the limit for him. COVID obviously impacted the draft in a big way, and the age of prospects rose between 2020 and 2023, and it wasn't uncommon to have a lot of 23 or 24-year-old rookies, and even in some cases 25, but this class had a lot of 21-year-old rookies and guys like JSN, Jordan Addison, and Christian Gonzalez, to name a few. And Smith-Njigba had a 7-game stretch in the 2024 season where he had 50 receptions for 701 yards and 5 touchdowns, and I really love the duo of him and DK Metcalf. We talk about having a plan for players when you draft them, and the Seahawks absolutely had a plan with JSN, which was to eventually replace Tyler Lockett, and we saw that happen this year. We really try to reserve the A+ grades for the special players, but I think JSN is on the rise and could eventually get there. After a C+ grade last year, it rises all the way to an A this year. Kalijah Kancey is up, and I think Kancey is a very solid defensive.
He has a lot of upside too, bro.
Stop me if you've heard this before, but a Tampa Bay Buccaneers player is underrated and underappreciated by the national media. Kancey missed some time in 2024 as he only played in 12 games, but he finished the year with 17 quarterback hits and 7.5 sacks, both of which were improvements from his rookie year despite playing 2 more games in 2023 than he did in 2024. Kancey can get washed out in the run game at times, but he makes up for it with his ability to push the pocket and to be able to get after the quarterback. And to be completely honest, it's fine if Kancey gets pushed around a little bit in the run game because Vita Vea is there along the defensive line and they perfectly complement one another. Kancey has violent hands, and if he plays all 17 games in 2025, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he makes a Pro Bowl. He misses tackles at times, but I think he is a really good player, and he will be just 24 years old at the start of the 25 season. He's missed 8 career games, so I hope he can get that straightened out, but he has been a very solid player for Tampa, a B+. Jack Campbell had a solid
Jack Campbell, hey, he been solid too. I ain't gonna lie. You don't really see linebackers go in the first round like you used to. But Jack Campbell been solid for the Lions.
5 quarterback hits. He improved significantly from year 1 to year 2 and only played 59% of the Lions' defensive snaps in 23, yet looked like a really good player during his rookie year. That number jumped all the way up to 89% in year 2, and he is a very good player that should play for the Lions for the next several years. Campbell is part of an insane draft class that included Jahmyr Gibbs, himself of course, Sam Laporta, and Brian Branch, and Campbell is definitely the least discussed of the big 4 from the Lions 2023 class, but he is a rock-solid linebacker and a guy that a lot of teams wish they had. Jack Campbell, to me, was the definition of a safe prospect that will play at a high floor, and I think when people hear that about a prospect, they think the player is boring with a relatively low ceiling, but that is not the case with Jack Campbell. He reads his keys in the run game right, he doesn't miss a lot of tackles, and he's in the right place more often than not. I thought his rookie year was a stepping stone for him, and 2024 was going to be a big year.
He had a great year.
It was. Campbell is a really good player, and Brad Holmes is a really good GM, and sometimes it's as simple as taking the best player available and not overthinking it. This is an A. I know the Patriots have not had a lot of team success over the past few years, but I really
Gonzo
Gonzalez at pick 17.
Yes, Sirski.
This was due in large part to Washington selecting Emmanuel Forbes at pick 16, of course, and Gonzalez had a
like, bro, he shouldn't even have been there at that pick. He should have been gone.
He tore his labrum and dislocated his
like,
shoulder,
he fell right into the laps of the Patriots, bro.
He looked good as a 21-year-old corner, but only played 4 games, so the grade last year was obviously incomplete. With all of the time off, I was admittedly a little worried that Christian would get picked on early in the 24 season, as he was getting back from injury and back to live football, but he more than held his own. He was a second-team All-Pro, had 2 interceptions, and even had a fumble return for a touchdown. I couldn't believe he was available for New England at pick 17, and I didn't make the mistake of passing on him. He is a really good player,
total tackles,
and is, at this point in his career,
PBUs,
a legitimate player to build
2
around
picks,
a borderline franchise cornerstone. 2 years later, this is an A+. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, as well as check out the other draft grade videos we have.
This is good, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Next time, as always, please be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.
Hey, man, shit. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all let me know what other NFL videos y'all want to react to. Without further ado, I'm out.
I'ma make them feel me, make them people when they show me. And if you don't know me, I'ma make sure that you know me. I hate to say it, but I really think I'm broke. But I know I'm chosen, I really know I'm chosen. I know I'm chosen. I was just lost a year ago, but now I'm focused. When good at sports, this microphone can be my trophy. Not taking drugs, I found a better way of coping.